Hello.
Hi.
Do you remember us? We used to do these video things about an auction or something like that. Yeah, I know. We've been very, very busy.
Yes.
Between I was away on holidays.
You were.
And then I had a whiskey bus.
You
and
did.
we had a wine auction, and Robert looked after that. And Robert's been looking after everything lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You want to watch it back?
He's welcome to it. Yeah. So we are back. We're going to do a couple of videos this week, just talking about the auction that's coming up, our October auction. Hard to believe, it's our October auction.
Yeah, and the day after the auction starts, it's our 6th birthday.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. It's hard to believe that the 11th of October, when we go live this year, is 6 years nearly to the day, ish, 24 hours.
Yes.
Since we started Irish Whiskey Auctions, kid.
Since we had our first auction.
Sorry.
Not since we started,
yeah, that's true.
There was months before that.
There was lots of months before that. So yeah, that's cool. We're not doing a whiskey release this year.
No.
I think last year's stress nearly killed me, so we're not going to do it this year.
And it was a bit of a milestone.
It was a milestone, 5 years. So 10 years, the next one we're going to have a big celebration for. But in the meantime,
I'll be retired. Only joking. I'll be on an island somewhere.
I'm your Hollybobs. Yeah. Chance of me to find it.
I know.
We are live. We're going live on Friday, the 11th. It's shaping up to be a good auction. Those of you that may or may not have noticed, we did have a standalone wine auction. Mm-hmm. We do plan to have more of them. We do plan to have more dedicated memorabilia auctions.
Yes.
What we're trying to do is thin out the main auction. I mean, the main auction got so big and all-encompassing that there was everything in it. And we just thought, let's sort of clean it up, let's tidy it up. So we are going to rotate to having whiskey auctions, wine auctions, memorabilia auctions, and there will be a rotation of that. All the dates are on our website for the upcoming auctions. We're going to be sort of starting really strictly enforcing the wine and the memorabilia in December, I think it is. I had made the decision on as well.
That could change.
That could change. That is subject to change. But in the meantime, this auction.
Yes.
October.
Yes.
Let's not worry about it now.
Yes.
Up the top, going to talk about a few oddities that we have in this auction. Here's one. Here's Ulster, Northern Ireland province, the Northern Province of Ireland, pre-launch edition of Weaver's Gin. So that came out of Ecklinville. That is one of the first products out of Ecklinville, 42.5%. But as a Ecklinville collector, that's something to have. Flaxseed infused and everything else, but that is a good one to have. So that's one of the first ones that they done, Weaver's Gin. Beside that is another oddity, Bushmills cream liqueur. Everybody's famous now with the Bailey's product, but Bushmills had its own in its day as well. Was fairly short-lived in its lifespan, was discontinued. I wouldn't suggest that bottle is 100% drinkable.
No.
Because it is a while, but a great thing to have. I mean, it not only that the bottle itself, but the box is there as well. Great presentation and the whole lot for it as well. We have a Jekyll and Hyde from Two Stacks. We had a great experience recently on the Whiskey Bus, the Northern Lights, with Two Stacks. And again, it showcases what they can do. But that bottle there, Pump Up the Jam, but it's half painted by Frankie B. I mean, their artwork, their bottles are just phenomenal. The work that goes into them, the wax dipping and everything on it, it really is pretty. And Frankie B has brought them bigger bottles to a whole new level. Miguel Collins, the prediction, this is one of the sort of newer releases of the Michael Collins. A lot of people that know the old Michael Collins product from Cooley. I would suggest that this is probably the same, but it's just been sort of repackaged and rebranded and everything else with a picture of the big man himself. It's not like the big fella, the tall bottles that there was before, but no doubt it does say the big fellow on it, but no doubt people will be all over that for the collectors. Beside it is Limavady, and Limavady is doing some very, very great things. I mean, Daryl and Marty have plans for a distillery up in Northern Ireland, the whole thing.
I love the bottle.
But that's what I was actually.
sorry, my
That's well, no, you're right. That's the reason why I picked the bottle out. The bottle is absolutely a tip of the hat to the old style bottles. I mean, with the balloon in the neck and the whole lot. But they've so much attention to detail that they've even included. I don't know if you can see it there, Ellen. They've got bubbles in the glass, occlusions in the glass. So old glass, when it was being blown, wouldn't have been flawless like a modern glass bottle is. I mean, there's prime example. Look at the gin there. I mean, there's hardly a flaw in the glass, the seam from when it was moulded. But they deliberately done this to these bottles to have the old air bubbles in it and all that sort of stuff. And it really adds an authenticity to the product. It's gorgeous. But as I say, the lads have big plans. There's on about a hotel up there at one stage. Hide your coffee behind me back, Kitty. Yeah. There's plans for a hotel, a dedicated whiskey hotel. There's bonded warehouses. There's a distillery planned as well. So up in Limavady, in that area of Northern Ireland, there is big plans up there, and Daryl McNally is leading the charge on it. Beside it is a bottle of Missouri Oak. And the reason I picked that up there is because, one, the presentation of it. It's gorgeous coloured box. It just pops, doesn't it? Sitting on a shelf, again, eye-catching, 101 proof. Again, done exclusively for the US audience, US market. But, and one of the reasons why I ended with that one is to lead on to below it. Is there now nearly one for everyone in the audience?
There's two for everybody in the audience.
I know that Redbreast and I know that IDL and Pernod Ricard and all of the various interwoven companies are trying to promote pot still as a standalone thing, to be comparable to single malt. That people will talk about pot still, like they talk about single malt or they talk about blended whiskey. But is it nearly undoing what they've done? Because you're now looking at it and going, Jesus, what do I drink? What do I like? We've now so many of the Redbreast single cask, and I put those two up there. I think there's nearly an entire full collection in this month's auction as individual bottles.
Yeah.
There's one there from O'Brien's Wine. There's one from the Barrel and Batch Whiskey Co-op. They're doing them for everyone. They said that they were doing no more in Ireland, but they don't seem to be doing any less either. I mean, the whole idea of it was the single cask projects. Now, I know a lot of these might have been in the pipeline.
Yeah.
And I know some retailers have asked for a new release of the single cask, and they've been told, no, they're not doing it anymore. But they just never seem to be ever ending. And I mean, if you're like me and you're collecting the series, it's as bad as the Powers. I mean, when? Oh, no. It's just getting. And people come to me and say, "Have you got such and such a one?" I've got somebody like, Dave O'Connell. He'll come to me and say to me, "Oh, did you get the latest Powers?" And I'm looking at him going, "What one? No, seriously, which one?" It's just a joke now. Now I just sort of tell him, "Dave, go ahead, buy it and tell me how much it costs." But are they diluting the Redbreast? Are they diluting that? The sherry thing. And my point being, here's the 10-year-old, there's the Lostau beside it, there's obviously the famous 12-year-old missing there, there's a 15-year-old, there's an 18-year-old now, the new 18-year-old that everybody's talking about, and they're not talking about it in a good light. That's the worrying part.
Oh, okay.
And then you have the 21-year-old.
And then you have the 27.
And then you have the 27. Or the 27 one, and I see recently they put up the price of the 27 in Ireland. 27 in America is nearly $1,000.
Seriously,
it's insane. And I think somebody needs to sort of sit IDL down. I don't know if you can get them all in a room. Yeah. IDL, get them all in a room and say, lads, where are you going with the pricing at the minute? It's like you're running away with yourselves. I know that your material costs have gone up, in the glass and the product, but your whiskey still costs the same. Your energy cost might have gone in your replacement value and all that sort of stuff. But 18-year-old still only cost them what it cost to put in a barrel 18 years ago. That hasn't changed.
You see, there's you going again trying to apply logic.
I know, I can't be doing that.
No,
it's not on.
You have to stop doing that.
But what the 18-year-old has brought into attention is the 21-year-old now in auctions the best value whiskey out there in the market.
Okay.
Because if that's what's the retail on it? 235, 225,
two something.
two something. Then buying the 21-year-old blows it out of the water. I mean, as a whiskey,
Yeah.
me 21-year-old all day every day.
Yeah, the 21's lovely.
And then on the price point, and you just go, it's a no-brainer. But is that happening to Redbreast everywhere? Is the 12-year-old, creeping up? I mean, I remember we used to buy the Redbreast 12-year-old in Newry for €32, £32.
Yeah.
£32. It's now, I mean, it's 70 odd euro here.
Here, yeah, it's crazy.
It
is a bit
so
much.
and I know, Jesus, things were cheaper when I was young. I get that.
So you go to
But the
school,
leaps
Yeah.
have been just relentless. And I think it's causing fatigue with the whiskey community.
It is. It's really starting to
And if
annoy
the
people.
whiskey community starts disengaging, how are new people going to find out about it? If you don't have strong advocates like us and like all the whiskey societies and all the whiskey people out there talking about Irish whiskey, what happens to new buyers? What happens to new consumers, new testers, all of that sort of stuff? So I think there's an element of IDL, if you are listening,
What's the not?
slow down, lads.
It's a bit much.
It's getting away from it, and I've been sort of silent on it, but I think that it's time that people sort of stood up and went, actually, do you know what? Hang on. I think there's an element of it. And I mean, even for new distilleries, I mean, I've said it. I think the Ecklinville release was bang on the money. It was still high-end price, the beginning. But some of these new releases, the inaugurals that they're coming out with, I mean, one of them at €600. Just like back of the hand job. That's
But
all that
you
is.
also think of the presentation of the Ecklinville.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
it's
the
two
two-
bottles.
and it's two bottles.
There's loads
Yeah.
going for it. That's why I'm saying it's probably one of the greatest propositions as an inaugural release
Of course,
from
yeah,
a
yeah.
distillery.
Price point wise.
Price
yeah.
point and everything, presentation and everything I had going for it. And I'm genuinely not being biased. I can be biased, but I'm not being biased when I'm saying that. But there's other ones that have stopped. But they shouldn't be doing it. They shouldn't be. Redbreast, IDL should be standing up as being the sort of, the one that keeps everything normal, the one that sort of is the pillar in Irish whiskey. And they are a pillar.
Of course.
But at the minute, they're not leading very well.
It happens.
Yeah, but Jameson is their machine, and I mean, as long as they keep selling lorry loads of Jameson, surely they can use the generated value and income from Jameson to support this.
Yeah.
Not every single
No,
bottle of
no,
this
I
that
know
has
what
to
you
be
mean.
released has to be a moneymaker. And I think that's where businesses, for me, that's where businesses sometimes go wrong, is that everything has to be a massive moneymaker. And it doesn't. There's things that we do, and you all know that. There's things that we do as a business that aren't mad. So look, I think I'm going to have a lie down now. Rant. Actually,
I think I'm going to have to
that's
lie
about it
down too,
myself.
because it's like you in the universe. I can't cope.
Yeah.
Anthony thinks about all these things.
I do. Yeah.
You do.
Yeah. So anyhow, Redbreast 21 in this month's auction, I think it's probably going to be the best value. It might be just this auction. I mean, looking back, and I know there's guys who have bought loads of them. I know there's one customer in America who buys loads of them and discards the boxes. He doesn't even want us to send the boxes because he's a drinker.
He's a drinker. Yeah, fair play to him.
Build a bus. That means clap your hands. doesn't
I
it?
know.
That does, yeah. Yeah, that's all right. I'm okay. Right, for now, that's today's rant over. I shall be lying down up in the office. Anybody's looking for me.
And I hope he's so looking forward to his next rant.
And on tomorrow's rant, there shall be. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. But until then, pass this on to anybody you know in IDL. Bye.